Hey everyone, it's me, Gigi. I'm just coming on tonight to do our Attracting a Life Beyond Your Dreams video series. I have not done this in such a long time, but I'm moved in, I'm settled. I mean, I don't have my office space set up yet, but it's a work in progress. And I plan on doing this once a month, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I want to ask the universe to place a bubble around me and anybody that is tuning into this video. Please fill that bubble with bright white lights, 3 golden rings, and violet flames. May it shine so bright that nothing negative may ever attach. So tonight I'm coming on to do a video series recording on things that are very near and dear to everybody's heart. You know, we have them throughout our entire lives. We hate them, we love them, we need them. They're absolutely essential for our growth. I'm talking about spiritual connections and relationships. And so the reason that I came on to do this video is just because I know that there have been a lot of significant shifts taking place within my own life within certain situations and connections and lessons that were needing to be learned, and with people that I thought were gonna, be around forever, although they're very significant. You lose relationships and you gain new ones, and it's just constantly happening throughout our entire lives. So they're very important for us to discuss and understand. The first portion of this video, I'm kind of just going to go through 3 very significant spiritual connections that we hear about very often, but we might not know exactly what they are. So to start, we're going to talk about karmic soulmates. I'm sure everybody that is in the spiritual community has heard of a karmic, and everybody has their own ideas of what a karmic soulmate is and what what it means to you and what happens. And so you just take what resonates. There's some truth in everybody's definition, but I meditated today and this is what came to me in regards to these relationships. So yeah, like I said, just take it, take whatever bits resonate with you and just leave what doesn't. Everybody has some truth in their journey. So karmic soulmates, these are relationships to me that come in and they trigger growth, but oftentimes in darker ways. They trigger growth because you're seeing aspects and doing things within these connections that you wouldn't normally do. And karmics, everybody hears them and instantly thinks like, oh my goodness, there's such a negative relationship and blah blah. Like, do not get me wrong, these karmic situations are very low vibrational. They are unhealthy and they become very toxic once their purpose in your life has been served. But prior to that, these are some of the most loving and sexual and fun and exotic connections that we form and that we have. These are people that we've known in past lives. And so, we had past due karma with them, unresolved issues or situations, and that's why they incarnated in this lifetime with you and came along your journey so that you guys can heal this and wrap it up. And you learned some tremendous things along the way. So the important part to remember about these connections is that, yes, they involve a lot of triggering. And when I say triggering, I mean, I will provide some examples, but they provide some very intense triggering. But these relationships there's a lot of beauty within them. So it's important for you when these karmic situations do end, because karmic soulmates and karmics do end. The situations eventually come to an end if you follow your divine spiritual guidance and allow them to come to an end. And so it's important for you when they reach those ends to be grateful for the lessons that they've taught you and, for the experiences that you've had, and to remember and to dwell on the positive things while storing the lessons that came from the situation, but not necessarily using those as grounds for what this whole relationship stood for. Because, like I said, these people are people that we meet and we ultimately love them. And we have a lot of experiences with them. They shake us up and they're part of the reason that we are the way we are today. And so when I'm saying that these relationships trigger growth, what I mean, most of the significant relationships that we get into, boyfriends and girlfriends at early ages, are karmic situations. Those relationships where you think they're going to last forever, you feel like you've known this person your entire life, and everything just seems to fall into place for you guys to meet, and it may feel like, this is the real deal. This is going to be with me forever. And this doesn't have to just be romantic. This can be with friends. I know I had so many karmic friendships and relationships and just a whole lot of situations growing up. And these are people that I held near and dear to my heart. Before I began my spiritual journey, I literally had no idea that these relationships would end. I loved them so much that I thought these were going to be people and places, this is going to be my life. I was going to grow up with them and have them around forever and whatever, because I felt extremely attached to them and I felt like I related to them and they mirrored me, and we had all of these beautiful, beautiful things that took place within our connections. Yet, as I've grown spiritually and I look back, I can see the negative and toxic situations that were involved in these connections, and I can see the areas in which they triggered me to grow and ultimately become the person that I am today. And so for that, I will always be grateful to any karmic counterpart that I've come into contact with, because you've shaken me up and charged me and helped me to grow in a way that I would have never known or done if it was not for you. So for that, I'm very grateful, and you guys should feel the same exact way. Also with karmic relationships, guys, when they come in the form of lovers, these are those lovers that, things start off so wonderful and everything seems so perfect, and then the next, the honeymoon phase is over and the next phase begins. And you start to realize they have some really toxic behaviors. They have some situations where, they're making you feel less than, or you're doing things that are out of the norm for you, but in a low vibrational negative sense. And then you start to realize, I'm losing part of myself in this connection. I'm losing the person that I know I am, and not in a good way. I'm just doing things out of the norm. You're seeking fulfillment from them, and it never really feels like you fit. But because you have this attachment to them, you really, really, really want to fit. You really, really want to stay in their life. And that doesn't, I said lovers at the beginning of that, but that really does not just apply for them. That goes for friends too. It's just like those people that deep down, something in your soul and in your heart is telling you, I don't belong with these people. I don't belong in this situation. But you stay because you feel so drawn to them and so attached to them for some reason. And that reason is because they have lessons for you to learn. And so with karmics, we go through cycles. And I shouldn't even just say with karmics, because we go through cycles with everyone. But with karmics, they're very distinct cycles. They are cycles of ups where everything feels amazing and you love them and you guys fit together and you're flowing. And then you go through those cycles of downs where they're dragging you into toxic behaviors. You're doing things out of norm. You're trying to find out where you fit. You want to fit with them because you're so attached, but you don't fit. And so it's just constantly going. And as you continue to reach the end of these cycles with these karmic situations, the triggerings will come faster and faster and faster. And the toxic behaviors will come faster and faster and faster. And it starts to be back to back to back, where it's like the universe is yelling at you, okay, their purpose has been served. It's time to let them go. The purpose has been served. It's time to let them go. And sometimes we don't hear those messages because we're humans, and so we think with our hearts and we think with our emotions and we think with our feelings, and we keep people around that their cycle in our lives has been long overdue. And when we do that, as my grandma would say, a hard head makes a soft ass. We find ourselves going through the same karmic cycles again with these karmics, because that is exactly what it is. These are karmic cycles. So you get back into those same loops and those same behaviors, and then it's going to take for you to finally awaken and remove yourself from the situation in order for you to ultimately grow. That brings me to my next relationship, my next spiritual connection. Kindred spirits. I love kindred spirits. We all do. We've all heard of them. But once again, these are those things that we hear about, but we don't necessarily know what they mean. We know that a kindred spirit is somebody that, it's just like us, and it's our very best friend in the entire world. But no, what is a kindred spirit? So we're going to break that down. During my meditation, I came up with a very brief description that a kindred spirit, or I didn't come up with it, but I was given the knowledge that a kindred spirit is a like-minded connection. You guys typically have the same goals, similar paths, similar visions for your future. This person is almost as if someone came along and placed your soul in another person's soul, kind of like a twin flame. But twin flames are much deeper. We'll get into that next. kindred spirits, on the other hand, they are people that are just like us. This is ideally our soul family. These are the people that are going to be with us along this journey and that are going to help us awaken this earth and awaken this planet and awaken our lives in a different way. They're the people that come along to help us heal from those karmic situations. Those are the people that come along to remind us that, yes, the karmic situation happened. You thought they were going to be around forever. They weren't around forever. And now here you are. You're in this place. You feel stuck. You feel down. You feel out. You feel like, why does this keep happening to me? I keep meeting these people. I keep going through these karmics. You know, I keep finding people that are not truly in alignment with me, and they feel in alignment with me, and then I find out that they're not in alignment with me. Like, what am I doing? That is when, ding, 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 we meet our kindred spirit. When you meet your kindred spirit, it will literally feel like you've known this person forever. And when I say forever, I mean forever. It's like you guys could talk to each other. You'll finish each other's sentences. You guys probably like the same desserts or the same foods. You've literally just met your match. You've met somebody that is a healthy connection. And with kindred spirits, although every relationship connection that we have will trigger us in one way or another, kindred spirits trigger us in more of a healthy way. It's kind of like you're so much like this person, they will start to irritate you, and those things that irritate you about them are your mirrors. Those are things that you need to correct. And to an extent, every person that we meet does that, but a kindred spirit, it's a different kind of irritation. When you meet your kindred spirit, you will feel at peace. You will feel like you found a piece of your family, like you found a piece of home. And you guys are able to talk and connect in a deeper way, because we all have those friends, you know, those acquaintances that we could talk about this with, or those people that we could talk about that with. And we have those work friends that we could talk about work with. We might let them in on our personal lives a little bit, but we really don't want to cross that line. You know, all of the relationships in general are sticky, and based on where you meet the people or what's going on with them, or, you know, who they are to you, you can only talk or go as deep as the relationship allows you. With the kindred spirit, there's no filter. There's no worries of anything. There is no need to wonder, oh, I can't talk about this with that person. I can't do this with that person. No, this is your soul family. So you can feel completely at home. You're farting in front of this person. You're talking about whatever. It's like throw up. It just comes out of your mouth. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you feel, whatever you want to say, whatever your heart is singing for, you can just say it. Because you know that you will never be judged. Well, I won't say never, because everybody judges a little bit. We're human. But you know that this person isn't judging you from a place of jealousy or judging you from a place of trying to hurt you, or, you know, they're not intentionally being negative or low vibrational towards you. Kindred spirits are those people that were sent to be our soul family. You know, because family is not blood. Blood does not make you family. Relationships make you family. There are people, myself, that other than my brothers and, you know, my grandma, whatever, I'm not going to go into that, but other than like select family members, I don't fit in with my family. I never have. I've always been a black sheep. And so there's those situations where, you know, those people don't feel like home to you. So if you base that your family is supposed to be your closest lineage, your closest circle, then you might be fucked if you really do that for some people. So your kindred spirits are those ones that come in to pick those broken pieces up and to remind you that there is a thing as love in this planet, and there is a thing called unconditional love. There are people out there that care about you. There are people out there that are not the same as everybody else. There are people out there that are here to help you heal. And there are people out there that think and feel the same way as you. You're not a black sheep. You're not out in the cold. You're not alone. There are people out there that feel and think and do the same things that you do. And that is why we meet our kindred spirits. It's a beautiful thing. Right now, I am in the process of trying to meditate and trying to, you know, listen to frequencies to attract my kindred spirits in, because when you have a very large soul purpose, it's important for you to have your kindred spirits around. It's important for you to have those people around you that awaken you to grow, and that push you past limits that you knew that you had, or push you past limits that you set for yourself. It's important to have those people around you that have the same visions, if not greater than you. You never want to surround yourself with low vibrational karmic situations. You never want to surround yourself by people that do not have dreams or are not working towards anything. You don't want to, be in those relationships with, or friendships where every day feels the same, and every time you talk to them it feels the exact same, and every time you're around them you feel the exact same. Like, nothing is changing. They are not growing. If you stay around people that are not growing, then you're never going to grow. But if you move away from those people, watch yourself grow. If you start to shift and move towards people that are at the same vibrational frequency as you, or that are at least working to get up there, then those are the people that you want in your circle. Why would you want to keep a bunch of people around you that are not vibrationally matching you? So, guys, if you haven't met your kindred spirits, and if you're working on finding more of your kindred spirits, start meditating. Start asking the universe to piece by piece introduce you to them. And also, when you're asking to be introduced to your kindred spirits, make sure that you clarify and you say, make my heart shake. Make my heart flutter. Make my head start pounding when I meet my kindred spirits. Send me a sign so that I know that these are the people that I'm supposed to be in alignment with. These are the people that are going to help me along my journey. These are the people here to remind me that A, I'm not alone, and B, there are people out here that are changing this planet just the same as I am. So that brings me to the grandest of the grand spiritual connections, the one that we hear so much thrown around this community, so much thrown around, love readings and whatever. Twin flames. This is a topic that I love, yet I hate. It's been so over romanticized and just watered down, so to speak, that it's actually lost its sincerity and it's actually lost its power. And so twin flames now to me is more like a label. There are still twin flames out there, but because of the way that it's been twisted and turned and just fit the human ideal, it's just lost its power. But we're still going to discuss it and break down what the original intent and what the original meaning of a twin flame was. So, twin flames are essentially the same soul split into two bodies. This is you meeting your divine counterpart. This is you literally meeting the mirror version of yourself. The reason that this has been watered down and, put into so many different places, because people tend to romanticize this. It's become a thing of like, oh, it's your twin flame, you have to marry them, you have to live happily ever after with them, you have to do this, you have to do that. What I like to use as an example of a twin flame connection is Hancock, because that movie to me was literally written about twin flames. There's two people that ultimately, yes, if you could work out, then it would be amazing, but it really actually wouldn't, because you come together and it's almost like it's too powerful to last. It's too... Do not get me wrong when I say this, because I may trigger some people. There are twin flames that are together, and I honestly believe that we have more than one twin flame, because as we evolve spiritually, different people will match our energy differently. So constantly our souls are evolving. So therefore I feel like every soul level will have a different counterpart. That just came to me, and that's what I've been thinking over the last couple of months. But we'll get to that in a second. Either way, in the movie Hancock, they come together, but when they do, they ultimately end up dying. Something bad happens, They can't just never work out. And so at the end of the movie, she ends up with her soulmate, with a guy that is very nice to her, and her twin flame is up, on the moon, doing his thing, still watching over them, still loving her, but he loved her enough to let her go. Sometimes that is what twin flame unions are about. That is what a twin flame is. Twin flames came here to teach the world unconditional love. And whatever way your journey is supposed to work out. And so I feel like as we evolve, the belief is that our twin flames evolve with us and we're constantly mirrors, but that is not the case. There are some people that evolved and awakened, and their twins are still down there. So if you follow the twin flame blueprint that everybody has set aside, and that this connection is the only one that is actually going to work for you and that is meant for you, you will constantly be an awakened person waiting for an unawakened person to wake up and to join you along a journey. Where if it is true that you guys were constantly being mirrors, when you awakened, he should have awakened. So that is why I come to the conclusion, and I've meditated and I've received the guidance that we have different twin flame counterparts based on our journeys. And you will notice that, you will see them, because the hearts were big enough to love more than one person, and the hearts were big enough to fit more than one type of love in there. And so, you know, we have that. It's the concept of like the first love, your last love. Like, there's multiple stages of love in your life that affect you in different ways, and they cause you to have different growth experiences and cause you to awaken in different ways. And a twin flame is a shared soul. Two souls, one body. So as we grow, our souls constantly evolve. I'm not saying that your soul changes, but our souls evolve. So therefore, your soul could match another soul that has evolved at a different time. That is what I'm meaning when I say that. So twin flames are mirrors of you. Twin flames will trigger you. That's why you have that chasing and that running. You have the twin flame that is unawakened for a little bit. They run, you chase them. The chaser-runner dynamic. We all know about that. If you don't know about it, it is literally what I just described. It's that person that is afraid of their twin because it is a mirror for them. That is a person in the world that literally shows you everything about yourself that you don't want to see, that you do want to see, that you love, that you hate, everything. And that is a scary thing to face. I mean, if you don't want to face that, then you're going to run. So that's typically what happens. And as you continue to evolve and learn to love yourself unconditionally, then you pull your twin flame in, because ultimately your twin flame is yourself. It's super symbolic and metaphorical, because the whole purpose of the twin flame journey is to learn to love yourself. And then by loving yourself, you will find love outside of yourself. Regardless of if it is with your physical twin flame, a soulmate, another twin flame, whatever it may be. The whole purpose of the journey is to learn to love yourself unconditionally, so then you can learn to love the outside world unconditionally. It's very metaphorical. That is why there was a mirror placed into your reality. That is why this situation was placed into your reality. But what makes me so sad is that there are a lot of feminines, and I won't even say just feminines, but I know personally that there are a lot of feminines, so that's why I said that are remaining stuck and trapped in this illusion of union and waiting for their divine counterpart, to the point where they're missing out on their lives, when the whole purpose of this journey was never for that purpose. There was no guarantee that you guys would come into romantic union. You may come into union with your twin flame in a friendship way. So the point of it is, don't stop your journey and hold off for a person that may or may not awaken or come towards you. It's important for you to grow and for you to continuously evolve and wake up in a way that shakes your soul up, and in a way that is in alignment with who you are meant to be. I'm not saying I don't believe in twin flames and believe in twin flame union, and I do believe that it is 100% divine. But what I do know is that it was all created for us to learn to love ourselves, so that we could truly and unconditionally spread love around this planet. And so that is what we need to do with those connections, is just to learn to love. Also, set boundaries, guys. Just because it's your twin flame doesn't mean that you let that person run over you, or those people, or whatever you believe. It does not mean that you let them run over you. You need to set boundaries, because in every single relationship, whether it's the karmic relationships, the kindred spirits, the twin flames, soulmates, whatever you want to call it, regardless of what it is called, you teach people how to treat you. So if you allow people to think that you're a doormat that they can walk on and they can call you when they want and they can do what they want to do to you, then that's how they will treat you. If you post, pictures of yourself naked and you guys message you, or men or women message you then you put yourself out there to be treated that way. And I'm not saying that you deserve anything. I'm just saying you behave in the way that you want to be treated, and you teach people how to treat you. So if you want to be treated with respect, treat yourself with respect. If you want to be treated with unconditional love, treat yourself with unconditional love. If you want to be treated with fairness and equality, then treat yourself with fairness and equality. How could you ask somebody else to give you all this love and to treat you some way that you don't even treat yourself? You teach them how you want to be treated. And be careful what you allow people to do to you. Because if you allow somebody to beat you, or to, I shouldn't even say if you allow somebody to beat you, but what I am saying is if you allow someone to do something to you, then do not be mad when they continue to do it to you. If you know that this person's cheated on you constantly, and you keep allowing them to come into your life and to shake things up for you and to hurt you and to cheat on you, ultimately, do not be surprised or upset when they continue to cheat on you or do whatever they're doing to you. When a person shows you who they are, believe them and walk away when it is toxic. Which brings me to the last point of this video: how to surrender and cut cords. With all of these connections, and with every connection in our lives, sometimes it is necessary to surrender and walk away, or to surrender for the highest good. Surrender to the outcome that is going to best serve you and the other parties. So, how to do that is to trust in the divine and understand that every single relationship in our life has the ability to be toxic. And if you notice toxic behaviors, and if it's a healthy connection where you can go talk to this person and say, you know, hey, I noticed this, I'm feeling like this is really toxic, this is really not a situation that I want to be involved in. If you can go to that person and say that, and they'll actually work on it and heal, then by all means do that. But if you cannot, and if it just becomes more toxic, or they play the victim role, or you begin to play the victim role, or whatever's going on there, it's important for you to know when it is time to walk away. And when I say walk away, guys, that doesn't mean that you have to just change your phone number and close the door and do that. I mean, sometimes that is very much necessary, but oftentimes cutting relationships out that way is harder and more harsh than if you just showed up as your authentic self, express to this person how you feel, how they made you feel, what you think needs to happen from this, and express to them that you need time away from them. Regardless of if they respect that or not, you take your time, but you spoke your truth and you close the door. It's not to say that it always has to be closed, but it's important to know when it is time to separate yourself and to create some space between those situations until they've either healed, or you've healed, or you guys are able to come together. If it comes to the point where you know you need to cut this person out, they're draining your energy, they're still surrounding you, they're, you know, pulling from your field, and you feel yourself constantly being drained, constantly feeling like, why am I here? Why does this keep happening? I'm stuck and this person's draining me and I'm tired of being in here. I keep repeating this cycle. I don't want to repeat this cycle. That is when you come to the part of your life called cord cutting. Cord cutting is a very spiritual yet simple practice. What you do when you are cord cutting is envision yourself with a giant cord, with a giant sword. I said cord, sorry. With a giant sword, and literally slice the cord. Imagine a cord between you and whatever connection or person that you are trying to cut this cord with, and literally envision yourself. And I like to make the motion with my hand, or if you want to use a giant pair of scissors, whatever is more realistic for you to envision, then you use that. And either way, imagine yourself literally severing the cord, cutting the ties, and watching that person float away into a tunnel of light. And when you allow that person to move away, I like to say a little seance, or say something that is symbolic to you, like, I cut this cord with love, I release this energy from my life, I pull my energy back. You know, whatever resonates with you. Everybody does this differently. That's just the way that I like to do it. That's the way that has worked for me. And guys, the cords don't get cut immediately. You know, it takes time because they're connections, they're relationships. But I promise you, once you begin the cord cutting, things will start to make sense. You will have visions, you will see signs, you will constantly know that this is the right decision. and that you need to continue to push forward towards what you are doing. It's also very, very, very important for you when you cut those cords. Sometimes the cords are so strong and entangled and wrapped around that you have to cut cords more than one time. That is perfectly okay if you feel like you need to do it 10, 15, 20, 30 times. It takes as many times as it takes, and that is okay. So what it's important for you to do is just to use your own discernment, use your own intuition, and use what you feel in your heart is best for you. Set your boundaries and constantly teach people how to treat you. That is the most important thing. If you take nothing else from this video, teach people how to treat you by treating yourself that way. Your homework for this video is think of the 5 most significant connections in your life and see what category these relationships may fit in. If they're karmics or kindred spirits or twin flames, whatever that is for you, see where they fit. And also really reflect, are there any of these ties that need to be, released? Are there any of these situations that are needing to be severed? Are you needing to cut some cords? Are you needing to set some boundaries? And then take action towards those. Rather, if it's making a list or writing a letter, even if you never send it to that person, just doing anything that allows you to take the steps to get away from the energy that is not serving you. Because if you keep it in your field, that's the energy that you will continue to match. Alright guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please shoot me emails. Let me know. I love connecting with you guys. I love talking to you guys. Share this video. I'm trying to reach as many people in the collective as possible. And please make sure you are liking the video. I love you guys so much. I will see you next month. Join me for my weeklies and also for my divine feminine messages. There's a ton of readings going on the channel. Check them out. There's playlists. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Mwah.